Hey everyone, thanks for joining us again. Stephen Callender, Foster Commerce, here with Michael Van Dorth, Foster Commerce. Catching Michael before he goes on some vacation.
Mhm.
We're going to do a little video on this plugin that we've had since Craft 4 called Variant Manager, which we use and are invested in and are continuing to build out. We're close to a Craft 5 release on it. Before we dive into it, so Michael, can you tell us a bit about what Variant Manager is, what it's solving, like why we use it?
Sure. Yeah, it's so you might be thinking, well, why do I need a variant manager? Because Commerce already has like variants sort of baked into it. But if you need to create something, say you are, this is your store and you want to manage your products, and say you come up with a new sort of a product widget that now has a color option to it, or now has, different size options to it. Um, you're going to require the help of a developer to go in and create the product type for it, and or if that's the thing, or add the fields to the variants themselves. So you kind of got your hands tied waiting on a developer to do this stuff for you, when actually you should be the person that's managing your products. So a variant manager is a way, kind of a different way of looking at variants within the commerce system and graph commerce system, and it's a much more easier way. We feel much more robust, easier way for store owners to manage the variants in the product. What we're doing is we have a feature where it can import from a CSV file, and we'll go in and import all of your variants. It also makes it very practical for them because they're working in a spreadsheet, which they normally will be, working with a spreadsheet and managing the prices and stuff like that as well. So they can export that CSV with specific columns set up and import it straight in, and they don't have to do all that manual input, which is another pain point that we see with the current setup for variants within commerce. Yeah, they'd be able to import them, also be able to export them, makes it easier for them to get the spreadsheet back, make any changes, upload it again, and it does all the changes for it. And along the ride with that, it's not just fields that are in the variant, but they can also have some control over importing fields at the product level as well, which makes it very easy for them to use.
Yeah, exactly. Well, awesome. Well, why don't I just dive in and show it
Mhm.
off a bit? So I've loaded up the Spoken Chain demo site that Pixel and Tonic put together. And so without further ado, I just I'm going to share my entire screen and we'll go from there. I'm in a brand new build of, Spoken Chain. It's got stuff in it. I haven't done anything with Variant Manager yet. First thing we need to do is set up the Variant Manager field type on the variants inside of Commerce. So what I'm going to do is come over here and just quickly create a new, I always forget what we call it. We call it like variant attributes, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, usually you can call it whatever you want, but that's what we've been using.
Yeah. And so there we go. Cool. Very easy. I'll save that, create it, come over to my product type. So the idea for us is we would actually come in and say, like, this is catalog, right? Or something like that, or general, or if there are distinct catalogs and differences, we would change that and just call this catalog. Main thing is, while Michael was talking about, is we don't want to have a bike specific. What if the store starts selling helmets? What if they start selling, like air pumps or whatever? You don't want to have a new product type and then have new fields for all of that. It doesn't make sense in our mind. So that's why we say, no, just build a general catalog of your thing, and then you can have different collections that you can create using content entries or whatever, and then use Variant Manager instead to put in the distinctions of, like, well, what makes a bike unique? Like, bike has certain size or color or different prints, or I don't know, whatever they have, different gears and things like that. So anyways, I'm just going to, for our purposes, change that to catalog to kind of make the point. I'm going to leave everything else here the same, and then add our variant attributes field to here. Just going to pop it at the top. Leave it there. So just to show that we've got that there. Going to go to an existing one. So now we've got a variant attributes kind of table field here. That is empty. You'll notice you can't add to it from here. So this is a field that you can only add to from the CSV. And then once you have added values here, you can edit the value if you make a typo. You can't edit the name, but you can edit the value. This is all purposeful so that we have a single source of truth that refers back to CSVs, and you can't get misaligned with that. So let me show you then how we will populate for this. So the first thing I'm really going to do is, well, there's one thing I could do easily is come down here and there's an export product button here. So if we say, like, hey, I want to edit for this particular product, just quickly off the bat, we could click export product. What this is going to do is create an export that has the entry ID, the product ID. You'll notice that's up here. The product ID goes to the front of the prefix. Honestly, what's after that doesn't really matter. What we show is this basically the slug of the product. So you kind of know what it is for your own purposes, but you could change that, put gibberish in there all you want. As long as 331 is there, whenever we interact with Variant Manager to upload again, it will know like that is the product that we are looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and just save that real quick. Let's go ahead and open this bad boy in here. So you'll see it comes with some basic things already. This first, I guess really the second row after the heading row is going to be product information. So we've got the title and we've got the slug for the product. And then we've got, you'll notice it's the default variant that was already inside of Craft in the spoken chain build. And it's got information here. So it's got the price, it's exported all these basic things from in here. So if we wanted to change or we wanted to add more variants, all we have to do at this point then is add rows that then correlate with the variants that we have. And you can come up currently a way, if there's a way you're like, oh, I've got a bunch, how do I calculate and generate all my CSVs? Reach out to us. We've got a client that actually has built out their own really smart script for building out all their variant rows within their CSV files. It's something we have on a roadmap to like build out a kind of a builder from that as well. But ultimately, you have the end result of a CSV file that has all of your rows of the variants, has the first row of your product information in here, and you can go from that. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm just going to change the price. Let's say that this bike is not expensive enough. Do that. I'm going to come in. I have to do this funky thing because I use numbers. So I'm going to come in, just replace it. There we go. I'm going to go back. I'm going to come to the variant manager. I'm going to upload products. I'm going to come in here and it's going to ask me right away, are you sure you want to edit an existing product named Bayview Trail? It knows that because of the file name, the 331 as the beginning of the file, that we're going to be doing that. And so then we've got these two options really, update and remove extra variants or replace all variants. And really this is the minor difference is update and remove means that, hey, we're going to look for the existing SKUs that are on the spreadsheet. We're going to see if they exist inside of commerce already on this product. If so, then we'll just update their fields and not create new variants with those SKUs. And then if there's anything that is already in Craft that is not in the CSV, we'll delete those. Yeah, that'll delete those. If you do replace variants, we'll basically just clear out all the existing variants first, and then just import fresh. Everything's fresh at that point. Yeah, so it depends on what you're trying to do. I'm just going to leave that. I'm just going to update it. Product. You'll see that it's being queued. We use the queue to process all that stuff. So on this screen, you'd kind of want to just refresh when you see the queue is done. You can kind of just constantly refresh and just see. It'll go per product. It'll create an activity log. If it fails, it'll note that in here. It might fail in your queue too, so you can check your queue and then clear that, because you probably don't need it there if you have the information there. You can set up actually separate queues very easily for this as well. There's different ways of doing all that. But ultimately, just wanted to show you, now we've updated this product. The price, I'm just going to go to this view, is now 1,459. Update it very easily, done. Good to go. Real quick, so we have in here, one thing I didn't show you was then we have this variant manager config file. And this is what's defining this DSV. So when I exported that CSV, it created all of these columns, in here. You saw that I had a title slug on the product and a slug, and then I have all these other columns as well. So we can modify these. So if we wanted to come in and we wanted to manage, for example, this body here, we could grab this body from there. Now watch this. Come over to the export. We want to export again. I'll leave it as the copied version there. You'll now see the body is now a column in here. So there are the different fields. Documentation will show like what fields we support from in here, so you can manage all that, and you can manage your product information here. Now, what's great? Let's do one more thing. I'm going to create a new one. So I've got this test bike here, and let's say I want to add. Let's do what should we do? Should we make it blue? Do red and blue bikes?
Yeah.
Choose make this the blue bike is going to be more expensive, right? All right, so blue. So this is the fun part over here is now I want to show you the way we're adding and we're filling out that table field, because I kind of skipped over it, right? So mainly I'm going to show you that we're setting in the CSV, not inside of Craft, what attributes we're managing. So we've got an attribute of color. This is the group as color, and then the two options here are red and blue represented for each of these variants. And so I'm going to go ahead and save this. You'll notice I do not have on my file name, I do not have a product ID on the front. I just have a title. So let me make sure I save this to my CSV. I'm just going to call it the first one, place that. So let's go into Variant Manager. Upload a product. Let's do bike. Are you sure you want to create a new product? Which product type we want it in catalog? We'll create our product. Cool. Queue is running, doing its stuff. I'll refresh. There we go. Got my new test bike entry. So it filled out the title, gave it the slug that I want. It didn't fill out anything else because I didn't add it. And then I've got variants. So now I've got 2 variants in here. I've got the red, I've got the blue title, I've got the SKUs that are set, the prices that are set. And if I come in here and look, then you'll see variant attributes table. I've got color, and I've got a value of red. Same then with the blue, got color, value blue. So you can see I can edit this if I typed it wrong or anything like that. So if I say blue, no, it's actually bluey, and then go from there, then it's saved, and we can keep that there as well. And you notice I don't actually have to click save down here. It saved it when you click there to resave the variant. Should we go, Michael, which direction should I go? Should we go more complex stuff and show that, or what other data pieces would be helpful, or are we basically done?
I think that's kind of it for the back end, what the data sort of management area. The other piece that we're going to show in our next episode on this is how to take that and run with it on the front end.
Yeah, that is the data side of this. The other thing we didn't show actually was you can zip all this up. So if we had multiple products that we wanted to manage or create together, we could create a single zip of all of these CSV files and then upload that zip here. So you can just upload, and it can be a zip file that you can do, and then it'll parse each one. That way you can do kind of this bulk process and have them go from there. So currently in this version, the clients that are using it, they upload images first, and then whenever there's they have to go through and back to the products and attach the images. We're going to make it to where you can't upload images like you can on FeedMe, but where you can, if you upload images first and then put the URL, the file name of those images, then we'll attach the correct one, find the asset, attach the asset to the asset field, and kind of go the direction. So we won't be managing uploads, but we'll manage the asset relationship if that asset exists according to that slug. So that's something we'll add in as well. And really, then that makes it even more powerful. So the idea is we don't want to use FeedMe for product management and then variant manager for variant management. We just want to use one product, one piece of software and process for managing products and variants all in one. Thanks for watching. If you've got a Craft 5 build coming soon, you're definitely going to want to check this out. This is something that hopefully will save you lots of time. We've also got stuff on just like how you can implement this in like your checkout, like in your product descriptions and stuff. I guess the quick note I would say is in your product description, just keep it as the product title, not as the variant title, and then put your variant information as options. Cool. All right. Thanks for watching. See you around.
Yeah.